A little chill on a Friday ahead of a SoCal Saturday. This is Louie Rabaut and Barry Spears hanging out with you on the Horse Racing Happy Hour, a day ahead of the Santa Maria, Grade 2 Santa Maria there at Santa Anita Park, a full 10 horse, 10 race card here at Santa Anita. We'll get into all of it. Of course, we encourage you to check out our friends at AmWager and AmWager.com. Got that 100% deposit match up to $150 going right now. Our friends over there, AmWager, AmWager.com, live in California for all of the best tracks that you want to play out there as well. So go check out our friends at AmWager and AmWager.com. Barry, a couple weeks off of the SoCal shows, had you on to talk a little Keeneland last week. Thanks to AmWager for hanging out in that segment as well. But back at it, man. And you know what I love? It's just grass, man. Okay. You know, they finally started to, it's almost like the sports Punxsutawney Phil, if you will, is that final set of Derby preps. And then we get into fully into spring. We start seeing more turf racing around the country, but hey, California, we always get the turf racing. We're spoiled out there.
Yeah, it's a little weird being in Florida, but I think I needed that week off to thaw out from Aqueduct. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I my feet were still cold when I got home.
I live like that all the time. So your struggles at Aqueduct were not my struggles at Aqueduct.
I do not.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Plus, part of the world my family's from. I think the little Campbell's soup for my blood, if you will. So let's get into it though. 10 race card there out at Santa Anita. Some state breds, but some others will open with one of those restricted races for those Northern California runners. An $8,000 maiden here. 13,500 in the kitty, 6 furlongs on the dirt here, Barry. And one of those races, if you want to get creative, no one would give you a hard time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my middle name is creative when it comes to things like this, especially in the first race.
Yeah.
It's always kind of, I like taking shots in the first race a lot because sometimes it looks on paper that, the race is set up for the favorite, so everybody wins the first race. But every once in a while, you get the wonkiness and something crazy happens. I don't think anything too crazy is going to happen in this race, but I landed on number 1, cheering for Layla. If you scratch out this horse's turf races, the 2 dirt races are pretty good in comparison to the rest of these. Really big improvement when dropping into this class last time. Second time at the level is always a good thing for me. So that's where I landed. Nothing too exciting about this group, although the favorite, Betty Pack, is what I think is just a stone cold quitter.
Okay. Good but beatable, right? I mean, she's good.
Yeah.
They're running at 4.5 at Keeneland today. Should be perfect with that, right? I mean, that kind of thing. Right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I have her on top just because by default, I think where I ended up going with my handicapping. So I went 8 on top. I think the 3 is interesting here too as well, Barry. You better be the one on debut here for Tim McKenna and the Alvarado connection. This is a purely Northern California move to Southern California kind of connection. And these 2 are hitting at 18%. So they're picking off these kinds of races. In their past, this horse worked really well from the gate last out, Barry. How about that? And so looking for that, that 49-ish training time is about halfway up in the groups of workers that day at Santa Anita. And by the way, that's better than most of the horses in this group. And so I'm really relying on that work for the 3. And I agree with you on the 1. I have that in my 3rd spot in the handicapping. I think was okay last time. Is going to get much cleaner, drier conditions this Saturday. And I think that'll play to this horse's favor as well. So I went 8, 3, and 1 here. I know you also like the 6.
Yeah, the 6 has a decent shot. Kind of looks almost similar to the 1.
Yeah.
That nice improvement in the second start at the state bred 50,000 level might get dismissed a little bit just because the 8 should take a lot of money. And I think that the 1 might take a little bit of money too. Yeah, so that might open it up for a horse like maybe the 3 or the 6 to kind of raise up in price a little bit. And I like that one a little bit, just a little bit.
Sean McCarthy, of course, was where many of Baffert's horses were flipped over chains. Charm Dream, the 6 there in race 1. Race 2 is another claimer, but this one not a maiden. $32,000 claimer here, going 6 furlongs on the turf, so on the flat surface there at Santa Anita. $30,000 purse here, Barry. I'll go first on this one. I thought the 4 was interesting in here at 9-2 for Antonio Fresu, trying to beat that 9-5 favorite in the 5 hole here, who we'll get to in just a second. Ran at this level last time, but on the dirt, and I like the move to turf here in this spot. Not a great angle for first-time turfers for George Papadromu, but this is one that he gets into quite a bit at 14% going dirt to turf. So I'm going to put aside the first-time turf starter and really concentrate more on that number. The horse has also been working really well at Santa Anita, certainly over the dirt, but I think this son of Munnings can get the distance, and I think he'll be just fine over the turf as well. So I'm going to try to beat the favorite here with the 4 trying turf for the first time.
I am with you.
Aha, how about that?
Zombo Bombo looks okay here. Like you said, Papa Badromo doesn't have the greatest record first time on the turf, but this is kind of a unique spot where a lot of these horses don't really look all that turfy. And
The favorite's 1 for 16 lifetime on the turf.
Right,
I mean, I don't think I'm
exactly.
making a big stretch here to go for 9-2 here.
No, definitely not. And this horse is logical. Ran some good races before this horse was laid off last year.
Yep.
A little concerning that horse didn't run really all year, but came back pretty nice. Those 2 efforts were good enough.
Yep.
In a race that's kind of wishy-washy. But I thought the 1 was kind of interesting off the claim. Has 1 start on the turf at a way higher level, and dropping into this spot makes a lot of sense. I'm anticipating Raylu getting this horse into the race a little bit earlier, not necessarily on the lead, but right close to it, stalking, and was beaten by a horse named Schwarzmeiser on the turf back in January. And that's a pretty decent horse that would be formidable in this spot, at that time.
Right.
So we'll give Bruckner the second spot.
I have a horse in my 3rd spot here in the 7 in Maximus that I am throwing in, Barry, just because I don't know what to do with this horse. I think he's interesting here. Son of Maximum Mischief, of course, that Into Mischief line. Last out, tried the turf going sprinting, and it just didn't go great. This horse did break well. So I wonder if just that being inside thing was so bad that an outside post actually won't help here. And so I'm gonna hope that getting a little bit of a cleaner break, nobody to his right, that the 7 Maximus will be part of the equation at the end. Man, they nominated this horse for the Triple Crown and named him Maximus. They thought something. They thought they had something, didn't they?
Oh, they did. Oh, they did. I really don't know how though. I mean, they paid $30,000 for the horse, but
Hey, yeah, people need to dream, Barry. Okay, you let people dream. You understand?
I'm with it. I'm with you.
Dream,
You're right.
Okay?
You're right. You're right.
Not all of us can be Barry Spears. You understand?
Hey.
Now let's people.
You don't want to be me. Not all the time, anyway.
Not all the time, at least. There you are. Just an aqueduct on the first floor. Still don't like you. All right, so race 3. Moving on to that here, of course. This is the Horse Racing Happy Hour hanging out with you, presented by our friends over at Amwager, amwager.com. Go check them out for all good things happening in Southern California racing. Maiden special here in race 3. We're going that mile course there. We'll see later in the Santa Maria Stakes. Later on in the card, Nevada Beach, a first-timer for Bob Baffert, comes in here. Doesn't start a ton of horses, Barry, frankly, at all. Over a mile. And so this is a very unusual spot. Do you think this is what he wants to do with this Son of Omaha Beach, or is this an attempt to maybe speed up his development to get him involved in summer races, or do you think this is just the condition book out there? What do you think's going on here?
I think this is what this horse is meant to do. If you look at this horse's pedigree, all of the siblings won going long first time, not first out, but one going long their first win. And I think that's of the same ilk. This is a really easy spot for a horse like Nevada Beach if he has any kind of speed, like you think a Bob Baffert horse would have.
Yep.
So it's kind of like turn this little horse loose and just let him go.
I think the 2 here, Nation, who's also the Bob Baffert, or excuse me, is a Mike McCarthy entry here, had Flavian Pratt last time, was good in his race, but just couldn't quite get there. I think he's interesting second off the layoff here as well. As I mentioned, for Mike McCarthy, hits at 20% in those kinds of races. And so I think he'll be there to deal with, but my sense is Baffert's just going to tell Juan Hernandez, get the lead and we'll figure it out, right? I mean, is that your opinion?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, there's no reason for him not to. There's nobody overwhelming in this field. If he gets in front of Nation, he's probably going to be able to control the pace. So I would say, Juan Hernandez is going to step on the gas. I like Rank a little bit. There's really no surprises here. The top 3 look like the best horses. Rank has a little bit of stakes company in there that might go a long way in a race like this.
Fausto's in here. I'll be interested to see. I don't think he wins here, but I'm just watching this one. 4-year-old gelded son of Mastery. Will he like dirt? Will he like a little more distance? That kind of thing. Is there something that they can figure out here with him? Because it's very clear John Sheriff doesn't know what to do with this horse, because frankly, the last couple of runs just haven't been great. Be interested to watch him as we continue to do these shows and try to figure out where it is that Fausto actually does fit in that 3-year-old crop in Southern California. Or the 4-year-old crop, excuse me, in Southern California. Barry Spears with me, SoCal Saturdays, presented by AmWager, Sporting Tribune, YouTube page as well. If you happen to be watching there, we really do appreciate you hanging out with us. Another maiden special, this one for Calbred, 6 furlongs over that flat turf course there on the green stuff, and of course 60,000 in the purse here. Barry, did you see the announcement that they're going to have a smattering of $100,000 maidens out of Del Mar this summer? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe it'll attract some other out of town talent to the West Coast that they could use a few barns to go out there and support that product and have some more horses to beef up those fields. That'd be great.
That'd be a lot of fun. Hopefully that does turn into something there. Even race here, so I'll go first. Landed on the 6 on top here. It is the 6-5 Miss Joe's Curlin. I know this is one that's gone 6 times and has never won. This more to me, Barry, about I think the move to 1 last time was the right move. It was a terrible stumble start for this one. I think if she doesn't have that here, or he, excuse me, doesn't have that here, I think he'll be in a much better spot, especially in Cal companies here. So I did land on the 6 on top. Who'd you land on top?
Same thing. The 6 just looks way faster than these horses, especially early, and should be able to control this pace. I watched a couple of these races, like Sir Tom, who I'm kind of interested in, but I don't think he can keep up with the 6 horse early. And it looks like a nice clean trip to the front for Miss Joe's Curlin.
I know you have the 2 Sir Tom in the second spot. Is that a cold exacta kind of play for you?
Absolutely. On the cutback, this horse ran pretty decent, was kind of wide up against it a little bit. This is a much easier spot. I like the cutback down to 6. And this horse should probably be prominent early. Looks kind of the best of the rest after Miss Joe's Curlin.
I have Big Notion, the 1 horse here in my second spot. This is one who they tried at Del Mar, ran fine, needed some time off here. And Steve Miotti has the training job here, and he's a guy who's had to move his entire operation to Southern California. I want everyone to look what he's done in 2025. He's 10 for 52, man. That guy's hitting it at 19% right now. Steve's starting to figure it out in Southern California, which is fun to watch. You can only imagine, Barry, if you had to move your family or something right now from Northern Florida to, I don't know, Southwest Florida or something, how different your life would be if you had to go do those kinds of things. So I can only imagine what it's like having to train at Pleasanton and then you're at Santa Anita all the time. Just not the same circuit or anything whatsoever. And so his numbers, I'll be watching him as we go throughout this particular meet at Santa Anita, because I think there's a chance here that this is a summer where we're talking about him quite a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a real big possibility, but we're gonna have to see.
Yeah, it gets Lasix here as well, a 30% angle for Steve Miotti. I think Big Notion the 1 here. Primed to run a really, really big race. And if you're primed to make a wager this weekend, go ahead and check out our friends at AmWager and AmWager.com. Get that promo code right now. Oh, that's right. You don't need one. They'll just match you up to $150, 100% of your first deposit there with our friends at AmWager and AmWager.com. Race 5 is a $20,000 claimer. On 3 lifers here, 6.5 on the dirt, running for $23,000. Again, a 9-5 favorite, a 2-1 second favorite, Barry. This one, in a weird way, I think you have to take one of 2 tacks when you talk about race 5. I think you either have to lean on those obvious class favorites in a $20,000 claimer, or you can go way off the board. What did you end up doing?
Yeah, the favorites look way too tough for these horses. The top 3, and they just so happen to be the 3 inside horses. I'm going to take the longest of the 3 on Top Shop Till You Drop.
Yep.
I like that last race off the claim for Richard Baltus, who does this move quite a bit and is pretty successful. I know he doesn't have too many this year, but he does do well with those kind of things. And, this horse's running style is kind of in between the 1 and the 2.
Yeah, right.
And I think that might be the best place.
I went to the 4 here. Look at me going long shot. Toulouse to Truck is the name of this one. And no, I'm not doing it because it sounds like Louie Rabaut. No, that's not what we're doing here. This horse was way up the track last out, but that's when they also decided this horse needed just a couple of months off. Before that, 1 in a 16 claimer, right below this level. Guess who we beat? Shop Till You Drop, who's going to be one of the favorites in here. So if we just go ahead and draw a line through that last race, I think this is one that at this level can absolutely be part of the equation. I'm not enamored by anyone in that 1, 2, or 3 hole in this race. So I'll take the 10-1. I'll take Kazushi here. I think there's a real shot that he gives this horse a fair shake. And so that's my long shot play in the early part of the card here, Barry, is the 4-horse 10-1.
Oh, no chalk zone, I see.
Well, somebody has to around
Right.
here.
I
Uh,
know. Like, this is the most chalk I've picked in a long time.
yeah, it's a tough race. I have the 1 in the second spot. I have the 3 in the third spot. We're not terribly different here. Would I be stunned if Cheeky Gal wins this race? I would not. All the things, but this does end the early pick 5. How many would you be including here if you were playing the pick 5?
I'd probably go the top 4.
Okay.
The four
Literally
inside
1
horses.
4, right? Okay. Yep. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, there you go. All right. And then we move on to race 6. This is a maiden 50 out there at Santa Anita Park. Louie Rabaut, Barry Spears hanging out with you on SoCal Saturdays, presented by Amwager. $50,000 maiden claimer here, $33,000 in the kitty here, 6.5 flat at Santa Anita for this one, Barry. It should be on the hill, should it not? I mean, what are we doing here? We're going 6.5. Let's get on the hill. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know why.
What
Determines where they go with this. Like when they schedule these races, like, oh, well, we're going to do it down the hill and this one not. I don't get it, but this race I thought was really wide open. I ended up on number 7, Burning Rubber. I like that first race there on the turf. Ran a much improved race off the first one. And getting Lasix this time might be all the difference.
Yep.
This horse really had a real strange trip. Kind of got stacked up behind horses and really had nowhere to go for a while. And I think the cutback makes all the sense in the world, and this horse should get a really good trip from the outside. I really don't like that this horse would, if he would have drawn on the inside. I think that was a lot of his problems in that race on January 3rd. So we're going with Burning Rubber on top.
Yeah, I've got the favorite on top, but I've got the 8 in my ticket as well. Makuta
Yes.
here. First time starter. I love that angle. Carla Gaines, underrated with first time starters. She has them ready when they get to the gate. She's also really good in sprints, turf sprints, etc. Not great debuting in maiden claimer company, but to that I would say a maiden 50 in California, man. That's ain't nobody buying this horse. Let's put it that way. And so,
well, there's so many common. It's such a common race out there.
Yes, correct. I don't, to me, this is a maiden special minus, right? Essentially is what this is, rather than a maiden claimer. And the Son of Mendelsohn, obviously we like it on the grass, the grass here, Street Cry on the dam side. This screams turf. Carla screams turf to me every time I see her as well. And so, yeah, this one's been working largely on the Tapeta out there. Been totally okay with those workouts as well. So I think the 8 is a really interesting first time starter.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of grass pedigree in this family, and I really doubt 15-1 is going to be on the menu. This horse is probably going to be around 5 or 6-1, but right. Still, that's still a decent price in this kind of race.
And if you feel strongly too, Barry, and you and I should probably talk about this more on this show. If people like a horse like this that's 15-1, and you want to use it in any kind of multi-race sequence, especially one where this wouldn't be the first leg, you can actually kind of hide this horse because of the morning line on a late pick, like ending a pick 3 or something, or ending a pick 4, something like that. In this case, it would have to be the end of a pick 3, but yeah, it starts the all turf pick 3 here. And I think that 8 is an interesting potential cart upsetter for that. By the way, that bet consistently pays more than 100-1.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's a very effective bet at Santa Anita, and that would be the start of that here. You like the 2 as well in Crazy Cavalier. We both have that one in our handicapping. I think if that horse runs the race, it ran 2 back, it can definitely win here.
You can definitely win, but sort of pace dependent. I really don't know. And it seems like the connections don't really know what this horse really wants to do. I mean, is he a speed horse? Does he stalk? And he just doesn't finish races off. That's the other thing. So as these races keep stacking up and he keeps losing, he's just going to fall out of favor. But I think he can pick up pieces here. And the 6, who's the 7-5 morning line favorite, the old 9. Oof, I had a hard time getting this horse at all. I know he's dropping in a little bit, second time at the level, but he kind of has that same look of the 2.
Sure. Yeah. Eventually horses are second place runners, or second place runners are second place runners. The Santa Maria, the grade 2, is the anchor of this card. It'll be race 7 at Santa Anita on Saturday. Mile and a 16th on the dirt there. It's for fillies and mares 4 and up. We see the return of Rishi here, who did all of the work early in the Beholder Mile, the grade 1 Beholder Mile a month ago, before being overtaken by Cavalieri, her stablemate, out of the Baffert barn. ran 100 speed figure. She's 6-5 here, Barry. What do you think she goes off at post time? I'm gonna go 2-5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2-5 as well.
Okay.
She looks to be the goods. I really don't see Splendora beating her as stablemate.
I think so.
In fact, I didn't even use Splendora on my as one of my selections.
Right.
I just don't think Splendora is any good.
Well, okay.
But she's there to kind of set the table for Ricci, and she may hang around and gather up third by accident. But
Yeah, her
really
best
don't like
run was on
Splendora.
the front, but and it's interesting to see Juan keep the mount here, but Antonio was so good on Rishi last time. If I'm Baffert, I don't make a change either.
Yeah. I mean, he tried 4 different riders, and then got the one that seems to click.
I think so too. Yeah. I went 1-6 here. My cold exacta here with Lisa's no. Ran last time fresh off the bench and went ahead and excuse me. Stat right in second position, ended up or third position, ended up in second place at in the very end of the stretch, overtakes Shared Future in that one. And I think that this horse will try to do the same thing with Rishi, but won't be able to catch her essentially. And so I think that this one will run right behind her, essentially all the way around the track. Rishi's going to pull away just a little bit at the end. But I get 12-1 on a Lascano and Glatt combination here. I'm okay with that, and I think that's probably a 12 or 13 type to 1 exacta. Sounds like a good play to me.
Yeah. I mean, after Rishi, it could be up for grabs. I used the 5 Ultimate Authority. This horse, tested this Greatest Stake Waters last year in March and didn't fare all that badly. Came off the bench and was running pretty good. I think the last race she was a bit over her head with horses like Cavallari and Tarifa in there with
Sure.
Ricci. So this is actually kind of a drop down in
Oh,
some
for sure
way.
it is. Yes.
And I think this horse has a little bit of run and can finish out the exacta.
It's worth mentioning that Rishi did beat Tarifa by 5 3/4 lengths on the Beholder Mile. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
in a
wild to think
mile, by
about.
the way. It's worth mentioning that that's what she did last time out, and if it's a Baffert, continuation of that. Any surprise not to see Cavalieri here, or is that more just, hey, we got the grade 1, let's give her some time?
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Okay.
They're gonna look for a nice summer campaign of a couple races, maybe even end up in Saratoga,
I think she should, by the way.
Alabama.
Yep.
That'd be a perfect race for her.
Yeah.
Plus, we get to see, the
What's
East and
the
the
what's
West
the
Coast bang
older
heads.
what's the older filly mare race on Alabama Day? I'm trying to remember now.
Is it Coaching Club, American
Yeah,
Oaks?
no, that's the Oaks.
Nope.
Oh man, no, I'm blanking on it. But I'm with you. I wonder if they're saving her for Derby Day or for Oaks Day for the La Troyenne. I wonder if Cavalieri come over for that. For mile and 60,
Probably.
she can
That
handle that.
might be. Yeah, that might be.
Baffert's got his barn again, right? So I
Right.
mean, we're gonna see a lot of him for 2 days for sure down here.
I think so too. So
Yeah.
he's probably going to come with a team of horses out to
No, that's right.
Churchill.
And I think a Cavalieri could be part of that, which is why I think she's not in this one.
Right.
If Rishi had won, I think she'd be here for the La Troyenne. I do. And so it's by the way, it is so nice to say out loud that Baffert's going to have horses on Friday and Saturday at Churchill Downs. I want all of the best ones. Just give
Right.
them
You want the
all.
best. The
Just want
best
the ones.
to go against the
Crap
best.
worked out. I know why they did all the things they did, but yes, I'm so glad that he's bad. By the way, that was the start of the late pick 4, the start of the late pick 3, the $3 minimum and 15% takeout late pick 3 there at Santa Anita is race 8. Now we're going down the hill 6.5 furlongs ish in an optional claimer, $50,000 claiming price for non-2 lifers, 3 and up, and all the conditions after that. We get a bunch of horses in here, Barry, that are very good runners, but haven't won on the downhill. So you get like Tiger on in the 1 spot, and that horse has never won on this course in 5 tries, right? You get Tom Seaver in this spot, who's won at 6.5, but it wasn't down the hill. These kinds of things. You and I landed on the same horse here. Who'd you land on?
Yeah, I landed on Tom Seaver. I like that last race.
I did too.
You can see how this horse has been progressing. Again, if you take out those dirt efforts, this horse is ascending buyers, and usually those kind of improving types, young improving types, now lightly raced, they usually win these kind of events. So, especially this horse is probably going to be a little bit under the radar.
Hmm.
I don't foresee this horse taking enough money to be favored, but I'd take 3-1, 3.5-1 on this horse.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. After that, I went outside 10 and 12. Simplexity is in here, excuse me. Went 6.5 on the flat last time and won under Hector Barrios, who keeps them out here for Dan Blacker. And then Scatify on the outside, I'm fascinated by. This is a oh gosh, 10-1. Let's go. John Sadler's here was not good last time, folks. Not good, but we're getting back on the track. I think this is one that just needed that start. We'll get back here. It's been about a month and a half, 6 weeks or so since the last start, but the works have been good enough over the dirt and a really good one to back over the dirt. So I'm hoping that this horse is ready to run down the hill. And Barry, let me throw a very, very, very significant bomb at you that I think will hit the board in this race.
Okay.
The 2 Mystification is 30-1. Hear me out. Doug O'Neill trains, throwing the blinkers on, which, by the way, 14% angle for him, and he does it a lot, okay? If we draw a line through the 2 last route races, okay, and we go back to Santa Anita Firm a couple back, this horse also ran in the Palos Verdes third, okay? This is a horse with some speed, man, and so fourth in the Palos Verdes, after that, third in the blanket finish in an optional claimer. This horse has speed, and then he's been trying to route this horse over and over again. What if this horse just needs the downhill? What if it just needs a little bit of a switch up in the surface and et cetera, et cetera? I think Mystification, the 2 here, who looks like in every other type to me, this is the other, the good. Okay. And I think this horse ends up running a big race.
Yeah, he certainly can. I mean, this race is a lot of unknowns, a lot of question marks, especially going down the hill. There's some horses with some experience, but they were kind of overmatched when they were on it, like a horse like King Apollo.
Right.
He may be better than he looks and could round out, supers and tries and things like that. But I would give Miracle Mark a shot here. Getting blinkers on, I think, and the Lasix back on might boost this horse up just enough. I mean, this horse was running really well at a mile, almost won the Cecil B. DeMille in 2023. So this horse has some ability. It's just he's been laid off for a while, obviously some physical issues of some sort. But they're getting him back on the turf and sprinting, which I think he's probably better at. I like the Bullet, 20-1. You probably get all of that and might have a shot.
Yeah, I like it a lot. By the way, Tom Seaver, I want to go on record here because he's only 4 years old. He's only raced twice this year. I think if this horse likes the hill, I think we'll start seeing him in either listed or grade 3 races down the hill. I think
a lot of these horses might fit that kind of description if they win. Because he's like they're trying to find themselves,
Yep, some Sir Prance a lot. I think there's still a lot of development to happen with him. He's only raced 5 times in his career. And you and I have been doing this show long enough. We trust Phil D'Amato a lot, right? So I think that's the kind of angle as well where he could figure that out. But yeah, hoping.
I mean, even a horse like Kangaroo Court, who's super fast. I mean, look at the horses he was beating before he kind of got hurt. He was in with Fort Bragg, General Jim, Buzz, who was really good at the time, and came back pretty well. I think, third in the form cycle from a 2-year layoff,
right,
or a little less than 2 years. But I think this is a good spot for a horse like that too. He's just got to watch the board for clues.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. Are you in? I asked this and I shouldn't do this on air, but are you in contact with Ray Lou? Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him. We don't talk a whole lot, but
okay.
Yeah,
is
still my guy.
Is he having fun out west? That's a big move, man, from what he was doing.
Come on, man.
Okay, good.
That's Ray Lou. He was hanging out down Rodeo Drive and everything, man. He's
good. All right,
chilling.
Good. Good to hear. All right, good. His agent's an awesome guy. So that's good.
Oh yeah, Jose's got him right.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Race 9 is the start of the late double at Santa Anita. That means a $5 late double with that 15% takeout. Very fun play if you want to put together maybe a $20 ticket or a $50 ticket, something like that. Nice and easy that way. It's a state bred optional claiming race here, going a mile on the dirt for $61,000. I thought a fun one here, Barry. I'll go first. I landed on by the way, I think you and I have, we have 5 different horses out of our 6 total selections here, which is awesome. I was going to say, I feel like this one's kind of all over the place, but I landed on the 3. And here's what I don't understand at all. What the hell else are we looking at here? How is this not far and away the best horse? I'm seeing 6-5s all over this card. How is Mr. Disrespectful, who's, by the way, being besmirched and disrespected on this one, how is he not lower than 7-2. I don't understand that. I'm not mad because I want it to stay there, Barry. But this one, over the mile last time, they stretch him out. He freaking loves it. Goes off as the favorite last time. Dominates that field, including Malibu Rocks, who you and I have seen multiple times on this show, is a good horse. I don't understand it, Barry.
I do.
I would okay. I would be tempted to single here in the late sequence.
I think the thing with Mr. Disrespectful is his last race, he really got an easy trip.
Okay.
And if you breathe on this horse too hard, he's gonna stop. But the pace situation here doesn't look all that. I don't even know, to be honest.
Not gonna be that fast.
It's definitely possible that Mr. Disrespectful gets the same kind of trip he did last time.
I think he inherits the lead unless
Yeah.
well, the one just wants to go take it from the rail, right? I think that's the big question here is because the speed seems to be the 1 and the 2 here. And then obviously Mr. Disrespectful last race, they changed tactics. He went to the lead. I think he's going to have to sit just off like he did 2 back and make the kind of run he did under Thiago Pereira then. But it was Hector Barrios last time. I don't know that if they didn't find something routing here, but this is the kind of horse I'm going to be watching because honestly, if you own a Calbred and you bought this horse for 12 grand and you can run in a bunch of $60,000 races, this is it.
Why not? Yeah,
right.
I do that all day.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, he's a tough read for me. That's why I didn't include him. The horse actually who I thought I liked the most on the card is in this race is the horse on top I use is the 4 Keep It Moving. Keep Moving On. I'm sorry, but we're going to keep it moving from my mistake. But yeah, that race at Pleasanton last year before the layoff would easily win this race.
Okay.
Easily win this race. And this horse came back on the turf, kind of muddied up the form a little bit, ran in a $25,000 mile race last time and kind of did the old once around.
Yeah.
And drops in class slightly and should get the trip. I think this horse can be close up, could be, off the pace slightly. Mark Glatt, second off the claim, not a bad angle.
No, it's not. He also wins a quarter of his dirt races. Period. Not a specific type of dirt race. Period. Sprints, routes, whatever. Period. So yeah, 21% in allowances as well. 31% when you get down to the claiming level with Mark Glatt, just doing a great job out there. Of course, in California. Did I even have 4 in my handicapping? Now I feel like an idiot. How about that? I do have the 7 and 2nd spot here. Let's find out why. Spiritual Advisor in the 2nd spot here. I just feel like has been running in this kind of company and running well in it. A little bit of time off here, which is a good angle for Jeff Bondy. Kyle Frey picks up the mount here, which I also like a lot. The two of them have won 2 of their last 12 starts together. They're at Santa Anita as well. So I think that one consistent runner can be there at the end. I'll include that one as well.
Yeah, I thought Speed Grazy has a shot. Been running really at this level for a long time and not a shot to win, mind you. I think this horse is underneath. You see 42 lifetime starts, 14 seconds. You know where this horse is going to be. So I use him
7 out of 12 races last year. This horse hit the board 10 times, 7 of them second place.
There you go.
4 for 11 second place in Santa Anita lifetime. That's great. Look at these 12 for 27 at the distance lifetime running second.
He's just going to finish second. That's it.
Hey man, listen, they paid $6 grand to breed this horse. He's made over $250,000 in his life. I think they're just fine. Are the McLean races?
Take second place all day for that kind of money.
That kind of money for sure. We'll close the card out there at Santa Anita. Remind you about our friends at Amwager and Amwager.com. 100% deposit match up to $150 right now. Get in with our friends at Amwager. Amwager.com live in California now as we speak. Maiden special to close the card here on the green stuff. 6 furlongs flat. And we are sprinting. Maiden special for $60,000. This is for fillies and mares who are 3, 4, and 5 years old. Barry, I'll let you go first in the last one here. I think you and I both agree that the 4 is going to be part of this. And you and I think also you have the 9 on top in this spot.
Yeah. Robin with a Y. That first race was really good. And the second race on March 15th, this horse got trapped behind a wall of horses, couldn't get out, went inside, went outside. It was kind of, like an apprentice ride. And then the horse came kind of running late, but it was just too late. I think that experience is going to go a long way here, and also for the jockey as well, because he's going to get this horse out and about and in position, and that's all he really will need to do. I think the horse will just do the rest. I mean, this horse is pretty quick. on his own right, and looks like he can finish races off. He just needs to run.
Gets the bug as well, running with 113, which is always a positive in these sprint races. I love a second-time starter who didn't show its buttocks in a in a maiden special, so I'm on Venalia here. Another one I feel fairly strongly about. Phil D'Amato second-timers do win at 13%, which is not one of his great angles, but this one, bullet work last time out on the Tapeta there, has multiple bullets in the last 3 workouts at Santa Anita Park, and so this one I think is just totally primed. So I'm probably going to lean pretty heavily on the 4, especially since this one I do believe ends the turf pick 3. This might be the spot. Yeah, this might be the spot where if I'm going skinnier, Barry, this might be the race where I go skinnier. I think Venalia is probably it's a pretty strong feeling of those 3 races.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to get out of the gate. The only thing that got him beat last time was the hop break. If he does that again, he's in trouble. But obviously, those workouts since that last race are encouraging.
Yeah, and hopefully just some nerves. First time on the track. All of us have tried something for the first time, and it's been nerve-wracking. And so hopefully for Venalia, a way to move away. A daughter. How about that? Of Havana Gray. How about that name? Boy, that's a name I don't hear very often in the US. On this side, of course, Efrange on the dam side there. That's a pretty royally bred horse over in Great Britain. But that will wrap our show here. He's Barry. I'm Louie. This has been SoCal Saturday for April 19, 2025. That card there at Santa Anita Park. Go ahead and we will wrap up the show here. But Barry, do you have who was your favorite on the card again? Go ahead and tell people that was in race 9. Yes.
Yes, race 9, number 4. Keep moving on. Let's do it.
Not keep it moving, folks. That's a different horse. That's a very different.
Maybe that'll be the way they'll remember is me messing up like that.
Hey, horse wins. I don't think any of us care what its name is, right? I mean, it's a whole thing. I'll let it go that way. I feel very strongly a different way in that race with him, Mr. Disrespectful, one of my top plays there. I'll go with Rishi. I think she's going to dominate the Santa Maria. I think she'll be very much the best horse in race 7. I know it's boring, folks, but hey, I'd rather catch winners than avoid them. His name is Barry. I'm Louie. This has been the Horse Racing Happy Hour and our SoCal Saturdays presented by Amwager and Amwager.com. We will see you right here next week at this time. Have a great weekend.